Okay, cool. So we're going to teach your dog to stay in this video. And so whenever you teach him to stay, the first thing to keep in mind is that staying means that your dog stays in that position until you release them, until you give them the cue and the go ahead so they can go ahead and move out of that position. And so stay is a life-saving command, to be honest. Say that your dog's across the street and your dog sees you and they're about to dart over to you, but there's a car coming across the street, and so you tell your dog to stay. And if you've already worked up a tolerance and a good reliability with your stay, your dog will actually stay, even if they're across the street, which should be like 20 feet or so. They'll go ahead and stay there until it's safe for your dog to come on. And it also teaches your dog self-control and patience. And so say like you're feeding your dog and you want them to stay. So you get your dog to sit and you put them in the stay position. Then you can pour the food and then you can go ahead and give them water. And you can go ahead and release them to get their food and water only once that they've stayed. And that helps develop their self-control and their patience, which will help you out a lot. And so let's go ahead and go into the teaching and teach them to stay. Whenever you teach them to stay, um, you want to make sure that you're incorporating the 3 Ds, which the 3 Ds are distance, duration, and distractions. And so anytime that you're teaching a new trick, you need to make sure that you have 0 to minimum distractions. You want it to be as easy for your dog to learn, and you want the environment to be as conducive as it can. And so the distance, whenever you start teaching the distance on stay, you start very close, maybe a foot or so. You're actually gonna be like an arm's length away from your dog, and then more advanced should be like all the way across the street. And so distraction would mean people walking around and stuff. And so if it's a completely calm room, nothing going on around you, then you should be able to get more of your dog's attention. Whereas if there's somebody jumping up and around and in the vicinity, your dog's attention is going to be carried over there, and their stay is not going to be as efficient unless it's already been practiced and developed. Okay, so come here, Addie. You need to get your dog in a sitting position. So come on, sit, stay. Whenever you're teaching your dog to stay, you want to put one hand out like this and say stay, and back up a little bit, stay, and back up just a little bit like this, and then reward him. Good girl, good girl, that's a good girl, Addie. And so whenever your dog's really learning, they're not as used to it like my dog Audie is. So she already knows to stay when I have to say stay one time. And she knows it, and I can go on and walk off, go to the other room and things. And so you really want to make it easy. And so you're going to teach them to stay. You're going to say stay, and you're going to put your arm out, and you're going to take one step back for about 3 seconds. And then after the 3 seconds, you're going to step back. You're going to treat your dog and then give them a release word, good job, good girl, or however you're going to release them. And so that's the way you do it. You're going to have to get them into a sit position, put your hand out in the stop position in front of them, and step back 1, 2 steps, and then you're going to say stay, stay, and count for 3 seconds or so until you're satisfied, and you're going to walk back, and then you're going to treat them. And once you treat them, then you give them the release word, and you praise them. Good job, good girl. And you need to do it again, get into another sit position, and this time take another 2 steps back. So you're about 4 steps back this time. And so then you take your steps back, wait a couple seconds, maybe 5 seconds now, and then walk your way back to your dog, treat them, and then release them. Say, good job, good girl. And so then you need to keep on adding it. You need to add your distance and your duration, and eventually you can add your distractions when you've gotten a lot better. And so that's the basics of how you're going to teach your dog to stay. And it's really good to work your dog out to get them knowing how to stay, so that's like a muscle that they're training. And so first your dog may be weak at stay, and so you can tell them to stay and you take 2 steps back and they're already moving, coming towards you or something. Or you could get it real strong, so where you tell your dog to stay, you could go outside to a different room, jump up and down, cause a lot of ruckus, and you can come back and your dog will still be staying there right where you told him to, because you have not been back to release them yet. And so that's how good it can get. And so it's all up to you and your dog and y'all's relationship and how well y'all work together and how much y'all stick it out and to how strong y'all can get it. So that's the basics of teaching your dog to stay.